Hello everybody. Here's another example that came to my attention today, and this one is about conditional probability. We're given some data and it's divided into four groups, I guess you could say. There's males and females, and then there's those that contributed to a retirement plan and those that didn't. Okay? Alright. Two questions. First is find the probability that a randomly selected worker contributes to the retirement plan given that the worker is male. So I wrote that like this: the probability of contributing to the retirement plan given that you know the worker is male. Now, if that's the case, like if this is the condition on the conditional probability, okay, we're working under the assumption that this randomly selected person is male, then what it looks like is that we're like ruling out all the females, so we're just dealing with these. Of the males, 121 contributed and 129 didn't, and that's out of 250. So if you want to know the odds of contributing to the retirement plan given that you know they're male, and that means like I'm ignoring all the females, taking them totally out of the picture, then that would be 121 out of 250 total, or 0.484. Okay. So the fact that we know that they were randomly select somebody but they were male allows us to completely eliminate part of the data here and just consider the 121 out of 250. Okay, given they're male. So alright, now let's go back to the full table. Alright, find the probability that a randomly selected worker is female given that you know already that they contribute to the retirement savings plan. So this time, what the assumption that you're working with in the conditional probability is that you know that the worker contributed to the retirement savings plan. So in that case, like, we eliminate all this, right? Of all the data, the workers that didn't contribute just aren't part of the calculation, because we know that's the assumption in the conditional probability that the worker did contribute. So what are the odds that in that case, when I guess we're just looking at this part of the data right here, what are the odds that the randomly selected worker is female? Well, of the ones that contributed, there's 154 that are female out of 275 total, so the odds are 154 out of 275, or 0.56. Okay, so just keep in mind with conditional probability, we're working with an assumption that something has already happened, okay? That the worker is male. Alright, or that the worker contributed, and that will narrow down our data somehow. We're either going to ignore the females if the assumption is that the worker is male, or we're going to ignore the workers that didn't contribute if the assumption is that they did. Okay, but if you can, like with all math questions, we've got to look at them and frame them correctly and say, this is this type of question, I know how to work it. Conditional probability is the notion that you should start with this one, and then you can proceed as I've outlined.